Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Vancouver Sevens, and this one, an extremely important one. The quarterfinals have rocked around very quickly. This one, New Zealand versus Spain. Now, Spain have been causing upset after upset throughout the Sevens circuit. They are currently sitting in first equal on the overall standings alongside Fiji and Argentina, but now they have the chance to be able to take out a top contender in New Zealand. Looking through at the starting lineup, first of all, for the Spanish, it will be Juan Ramos. They have got Belinchies, Joseph Ceres, Laforga, Trevor Thick, who did have a very impressive last contest up against Fiji, Manteca, and also Eduardo Lopez. Now, Spain actually went to Golden Point up against the Fijians, and that just tells you the level that the Spanish side are at the moment, that they just keep on going from strength to strength, making it very tricky for their opposition. In terms of the New Zealand starting lineup, it will be Regan Ware, Sione Molia, Tony Nashu, Dylan Collier, Frank Vainuku, Andrew Newstub, and also Joe Weber. Now, the winner of this contest will face off against the winner of the other quarterfinal, which is going to be Argentina versus France. So still plenty on the line here. Do let me know, of course, who you guys think will be winning this contest, whether it will be the New Zealanders, who do come in as the slight favourites, even though Spain are ranked higher than them in the overall standings, but the Spanish side do have an upset or two up their sleeve. Could this be one of those contests? But we are covering all four of the quarterfinals. The next one, like I said, was Argentina versus France, followed then by Fiji versus Great Britain, and then closing out the quarters, it will be South Africa when they go head-to-head with Australia. A rematch from the group stage. This one was not, but it has been a group stage fixture quite often throughout the Sevens circuit. The Spanish, like I said, going from strength to strength. And if they can stay competitive in this contest, if they can push New Zealand early, I think they've got a good chance of at least being close in this match, if not winning it. But if they do end up allowing New Zealand just to play their natural game, that's when maybe the Spanish side could go downhill. Manu Moreno, he is out there, or sorry, not out there, and also Paul Pla also missing for the Spanish. Two of their key players. And mate, when do you sleep? How do you manage to stay awake so long? Love your commentary, says Grant. Honestly, I have no idea why I still have so much energy. We've been awake for a good, like with the exception of a 1 hour nap that I got yesterday, we've been up for about 28 plus hours. And driven into Dutch Spain, not able to get that ball away. I think the rugby being on does help, though, because you just, you get in that rhythm of going from game to game to game, and it's always very exciting when it does take place. We are up to the quarter-finals later on today. We have got the semis as well as the Six Nations that we will be covering on the channel. Let's go New Zealand. Where can I watch it, says Timmy. It depends on where you are in the world. If you're in New Zealand, your option is Sky Sport 1. The HSBC website normally has the best options depending on where you are, though. That's going to be knocked on by Regan Ware, but they are going back for the initial penalty in favour of New Zealand. This will be about 30 metres out. In fact, a little bit closer, about 22 from the Spanish line. From the USA, I think it's on, it's either Flow Rugby or what's the other USA option that they have got? I know that there are a couple. Where can I watch it in New Zealand? In New Zealand, you are Sky Sport 1, and rugby is usually Peacock. Is it not on Peacock for this one? New Zealand have not scored more than 14 points versus Spain this season, so that is quite a telling stat and lets you know exactly how good the Spanish defence can be. New Zealand with Newstub goes off to Joe Weber on the right-hand side, trying the big fend, and Vainuku driven out. What a bit of physical defence from the Spanish. And it's not, unfortunately, that's really surprising, though, the fact that they wouldn't have it, because I'm sure they'd have it somewhere with the fact that they normally do have the sevens. We're going to have to scroll through the website. Where to watch? Clicked on it. For Canada, it's on TSN. For Latin America, it's on Disney+. For MENA, South Africa. Okay, so it seems to think that it's on TSN, but it has no option for the US. That is really strange. Normally we do see a USA watching option. I've been staying awake for so long. Stay healthy, stay strong, my Kiwi commentator, says Grant. As Spain going to win, says Rebel Nuts. They're normally close in the games up against New Zealand. Currently in position about 20 metres out from their goal line. Wide cut out pass. Does find Jamie Manteca. Just steps straight through. But Vainuku does manage to slow him down. Now across to the left-hand side, Spain so dangerous when their attack is functioning. We saw that earlier on in the competition up against Uruguay where they just kept on running in tries for fun. Now sitting about 40 metres out from the line here, Spain. Laforga looking both ways. He's got one Spanish winger on the top side of the field, and it doesn't look like he's going to use him just yet. Dylan Collier grabbing him by the collar, trying to drag him towards touch. That looked like a drop ball. And it's going to be played on the ground from Joseph Series, which now gives the penalty to New Zealand, who will win, says PSG. I mean, it's very hard to tell. Like I said, New Zealand come in as favourites, even though Spain are ranked a little bit higher than them on the circuit. I do see at the moment there is a Spanish player down in back play, so 6 versus 7 with the advantage going the way of New Zealand just for now while the player is grounded. Now Andrew Newstub tackled by Laforga on the halfway line. Now off to the left. New Zealand trying to make the most of this numerical advantage, and Tony Nashu is going to be able to run this one in for the first try of the contest in this quarter-final. New Zealand on the sheet first. But just had to wait for their opportunity. Tony Nashu, his 53rd try, his third of the Vancouver Sevens. Plenty more to come if New Zealand do keep on advancing through this competition. But Nashu just looking both ways, trying to work out whether or not there was going to be a Spanish defender charging at him, but sadly in this case, no one to be seen. Right, sounds like there is going to be a change now that is due to the injury of Spain. Well, I put 130 on New Zealand to win and Fiji. So here's Rebel Nuts. So like it has to be both, like a 2-leg, or you put 130 on New Zealand and then also another 130 on the Fijians. Now, Fiji have an interesting game up against Great Britain. Can be a real underdog. Comes to the Sevens. Dylan Collier tries to slap that one back. And it is picked up by the Kiwis. A yet the 2-leg. So here's Rebel Nuts there. Now bounce pass. Been a lot of those throughout the last little while. And that's going to be a knock on from Regan Ware. Now chance here for the Spanish. 2-man in the breakdown. And Vainuku does get the turnover. Unfortunately, just the clean out arriving a bit late for Spain. Vainuku has been everywhere in this game, whether it's in the breakdowns or getting smashed into touch by the Spanish. He has been heavily involved throughout the early point of this match. Yeah, unfortunately, Eduardo Lopez just taking a little bit too long to get in there for Spain. Cup quarterfinal records, New Zealand have an 80% winning rate. Spain have only won 3 of their quarterfinals, yet this year they've done better than they ever have before, making it to the final. But they are yet to get that championship. Is that the live score? It should be, but it doesn't look like it's updating at the moment. We've currently got a couple minutes remaining. Oh, there we go. Just as we mentioned that, it does decide to pop up. But yeah, it's an online scoreboard that sometimes misbehaves. So yeah, it either works well or it doesn't work at all. 80 seconds remaining in this half. Andrew Newstub with the fend on Laforga. Now Dylan Collier offloads to Joe Weber. Great scramble defense from the Spanish, and they managed to get the penalty. Right, they more than likely will kick for touch, I would say here. They're a bit deep inside of their own 22, but they might consider the tap. Just, 10 metres out, it just feels like too much of a risk. And in fact, yep, they will be kicking this one into touch. They are just talking about the fact that Spain, throughout the first 3 legs of the Sevens, they are sitting on 48 points, which is incredibly impressive for a side that at the start of the season probably weren't even expected to be anywhere near that top 6, let alone currently in the top 3, and that's going to be nicely retained by Spain. Laforga going back across through their hands, though. Slippery ball, it would seem, for the evening games. Now, Eduardo Lopez goes on the outside. Here comes the pure pace of Jamie Manteca. Now back across. Lopez gets it across to Laforga. Valenciez almost going through. Another offload to Laforga. And again, keeping the ball alive. They just need that one little breakthrough. They can be back to a level playing field heading into the second half. We just hear the halftime siren now. Looks like a grubber attempt is going to take place, and there is a bit of space here as the ball bounces favourably, but unfortunately for Trevor Thick, goes straight to New Zealand, who do kick it into touch, and they will take a halftime lead of 7-0. This game is far from over. Of course, the winner of this game will be going head-to-head with the winner of Argentina versus France. That is the next contest that we are covering on the channel, closely followed by Fiji taking on Great Britain, and then South Africa and Australia close out the day of the Sevens. Now, for anyone wondering about the timing of the finals and whatnot, the semi-final first of all, we will get it here. It is going to be, once again, a little bit of a rough time for us here in New Zealand. Although not terrible if you're on a normal time zone, but the semi-finals at 9:30 a.m. New Zealand time, and then the other semi will be at 9:52. It's going to be a playoff game taking place between Ireland and Kenya at 7:50, and then the USA versus Uruguay, that is at 8:34 a.m. So one of those is for 11th place, and the other is for the 9th. In terms of the final, that is going to be kicking off at 2:05 p.m. New Zealand time. So roughly this time tomorrow is when the final will be taking place, followed by the women's final. The first time ever in Perth, we did see the women go after the men for the final matches, and what a thriller it was between Australia and New Zealand. Hopefully, we can see it backed up again here as well. But second half just about to take place. Good first half, says hi from PSG, and hi from Colombia, says Neil. And we have got Robert V in the chat too. And this is one of the rare competitions in the Sevens where the time zone doesn't actually favour those in Europe as well as South Africa. Like normally it is throughout the day that the matches are taking place, but it is late evening and then early morning or middle of the night for the matches. But they are just showing here France and Argentina warming up. These two sides, they have already played off. They did play in their group stage fixture. They will find themselves head-to-head yet again. And that is sometimes the way that Sevens can work. You find yourself finding the same side over and over. Same is happening with South Africa and Australia. They will be playing each other very soon. That's going to be the penalty going the way of New Zealand at the start of the second half. So the quick tap taken by Dylan Collier. They're 40 metres out from their own line here. The Kiwis, Joe Weber, ever-experienced veteran. Scored multiple tries throughout the Sevens leg already. I again catch any sleep? Not yet, but soon we will be able to. Probably in like 3 hours, I would say. It's when I'll end up getting, I'd say I'll probably get like 8-9 hours sleep. So that's going to be a good run for ourselves. But yeah, it's just a little while till we get there. Oh, not happy about that one. Sione Molia. It's going to be now Spain's opportunity to pick whether or not they want to go for their scrum or whether they do want the line out. Hey, Hamish. Says Brandon, welcome in. But yeah, just knocked out of the hands of Dylan Collier. 12 white. He's going to make his way off. Eduardo Lopez. That's a big change relatively early. And New Zealand are playing just their second quarterfinal this season. The last one was in Dubai. So the Kiwis haven't had their greatest run, but looked like a solid enough team throughout this tournament. A narrow loss to South Africa and then beating the Irish as well as Australia. Of course, Australia also qualifying due to the best third place team. The Forga to put the ball in now. Andrew Newstubb gives him a slap on the back as if to tell him to hurry up. At the end of the day, if Spain take a little bit longer, that doesn't really cause any problems for New Zealand. That, in fact, would help them. I'm confused why South Africa playing Australia again. They were in the same pool. Have things changed? Says bystander. So it is fair enough to be confused just because, like you said, they've already played each other. Same can be said about France and Argentina. But the way that it works, because we've only got 3 pools, it means that the top 2 from each group go through. That's 6 of your quarterfinalists. And then from there, it is the third place team, the best in terms of points differential or points. And then the second best third place team. So in that case, Australia came in as a third place side, and the way that the groupings work means that sometimes you find yourself with another head-to-head. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Blitzboks bounce back. Of course, losing that first game to Australia in the last minutes, but they'll be ready to go. Oh, 3 pools make sense now. I thought there were 4. Yeah, they're very confusing because every once in a while, like I think there was one league where they had the shortened competition. That was actually the one that the Blitzbox won, how there were only 3 teams per pool rather than the 4. Morning from the Philippines. Here's a Maniac. Welcome in, mate. You are doing extremely well. The Forga feeding the ball in for the Spanish now. We are in the second half of this contest, and Spain still have time to try and get back into it, but it's very tough on the 4G turf by the looks of it. Everyone's slipping, but someone who does not is going to be Cancelo, who gets very close to being able to score it. Now back across, New Zealand trying to defend from only a couple metres out from their line. Bit of hustle there in the breakdown from Andrew Newstub La Forga. Huge amount of tries for him throughout his career, Blinchies. And still losing metres here for Spain. Sione Molia tries to counteract. Oh, trying to use the ref to his advantage there. La Forga almost ran straight into him. And the turnover is good for New Zealand again. Tony Nyashu managing to get in there, looking fatigued at the moment. Winner of this game, they will go on to face the winner of France versus Argentina. The loser of this contest, they will face, of course, the loser of France-Argentina. Trying to get that offload away for Coscuela. And then straight on to it, getting that turnover. Quick as a flash for New Zealand. It seems like at the moment that is where they're really making their money, is in those breakdowns, getting the steals and stopping Spain's attack. New Zealand need another try, says Novmum. Yeah, I don't think 7 will be enough here. There is a chance, just like in an earlier stage, that we could see Spain going to golden point. We did see it up against the Fijians, in which they did lose 26 points to 21, but they did have the lead up until the closing moments of that match, when we did see Fiji score the late try of Satoranga. Now, another line-out chance here for New Zealand. Tony Nashu has made his way off, same with Vainuku. Same with Regan Weir. And also, I think they made one other change of Joe Weber, if I didn't already say him. Now, loose ball, New Zealand. Picked up by Narohi. McGarvey Black. Oh, bit of a slip and slide again here for Ollie Mathis. Puts it on the outside. Dylan Collier. Going to be chased down by Bolinciers, who hits him into the turf. Hard penalty goes the way of Spain. That's the thing, this turf does not look easy to play on, and I feel like it's going to actually be whoever adjusts better to these type of conditions that will end up winning this overall competitions. But we are seeing a lot of slips. We're seeing a lot of handling errors as well. They've talked about how with it being the indoor stadium at BC Place, you kind of get your own humidity in a way, and it can make it quite slippery in there, a bit of a pressure cooker, even if it isn't so warm on the outside. I get nervous when they get close to the touchline, says Novmum. Now Spain, right in the middle of the park. It's going to be an advantage going the way of Spain. Yet again here, Manteca goes across to La Forga. Now Joseph Ceres offloads it inwards. 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Currently New Zealand, if it stays this way, would be going through to the semi-final that is taking place tomorrow morning, New Zealand time. Now back across. Big shot coming in around the bootlaces from Brady Rush. Tawatanawa, All Black this year. He's got to be right up there. The way that he was able to play up against the Blues showed just how world class that man is. Now sitting 30 metres out, 90 seconds remaining. New Zealand not rolling away, so the penalty goes against them yet again. There is a chance at golden point, ladies and gents. Don't choke New Zealand, says Rebel. Is he able to yet, says PSG? I believe so. I think he is in the eligibility situation. A little bit similar to, I mean, we saw Fabian Holland. He's now qualified for the ABs too, so a couple of those Highlanders boys might be in with a shot. Tony Nashu yelling from the sideline. We have seen 20 tackles made by Spain, and to a massive credit, they have managed to make all but 3. Only missed the 3 chances. And I think that's why the score is still 7-0. But once again, New Zealand are going to struggle to be able to get more than 14 points up against Spain. That's been the record that has continued throughout quite some time here. Seems like it will be the case yet again. Ball is going to be fed in. Now, stepping through. It's the chance for Spain. They're going to score it with 50 seconds remaining. And just like that, Coscuela gets through his first try in the Vancouver Sevens. This is going to cause all sort of problems. If we do go to a golden point, I will have to change about 4 different live stream scheduled times, or it will be the 3 other quarterfinals. But at the end of the day, it's always close when these two sides play. I hate to say it, but I predict a Fiji versus Argentina final, says Bystander. Missed the kick, says PSG. Yeah, if this kick misses, then New Zealand would still have the lead, but an important one, and it has gone over from the Spanish. 15 seconds remaining now, ladies and gents, and it is all to play for. Kicked off by Spain, and nicely taken by New Zealand, and well pushed infield from, I believe it was Lewis Ormond. Keep the ball alive. Vamos, Spain, says Lilia B. New Zealand in possession, knocked on by Naroi McGarvey Black, and we're going to golden point, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that, we're going to have to rearrange some live streams while this one is getting ready to go for the golden point time. Spain, their last game, they went to golden point, so they are finding a lot of times where they're in that extra period of time. They are going to have the coin toss. We're going to delay all the live streams by 5 minutes. I feel like that should be a substantial enough amount of time so that it doesn't overlap. But this is just, honestly, it's been a day of delays, pretty much. Like that first match between the URC sides, the Bulls and the Sharks, it ended up taking over 2 hours. From there, we all go like that and like that. There we go. But yeah, then the next game, the Six Nations, it went over 2 hours, so that got rid of that little break that would have been afterwards. Scotland versus England, that was probably the only game that actually finished relatively on time. We saw golden point between Fiji and Spain yesterday. And come on, Spain, says Augustine. I love it. 3rd one in a row, says Lilia B. Yeah, we've had a lot of golden point times, haven't we, on the channel as of late. We must be picking the right games to do. And yeah, I hope not, says Rebel. See, it's interesting because for your one, Rebel Nuts, at full time being a draw, does that count as a loss? Or if New Zealand was still to win, do you still get your first leg? I'm curious because sometimes they end up saying if it's a draw at the end of regular time, then it doesn't count towards like a victory, if that makes sense. But now we are just about to kick off for golden point time, ladies and gentlemen. Just a classic fixture between these two teams again. The nervousness out there. New Zealand have all the experience in the world. Spain are huge underdogs, but they live up to the expectation of being able to every once in a while cause something magical. Going to be kicked off now. Nicely taken by Spain. And Bites now says Nov Mum, and yeah, I hope not, says Rebels. La Forga. Going back across, there's going to be a long way to go before Spain get to the try line, sitting about 80 metres. Nice stepping coming from Eduardo Lopez. Oh, breaking the line. Surely no one will catch this man. And Spain are going to knock New Zealand out of the competition yet again. And it is none other than Anton Legobru, who scores his second try in Vancouver, 9th of his career, and Spain have got the Kiwis number yet again. It's becoming a very common occurrence. And well done, Spain. Holy cow, says David the Mod. And just like that, New Zealand are gone out of the competition. Tell you what, he's getting slapped around all over the place. The Spanish try scorer just broke through. New Zealand missing the tackle. Vamos, Spain, says Lilia B. And a massive smile on the face as he was scoring the try. Had to, of course, make sure that he did put that ball down without dropping it, or else then that can get you becoming the worst enemy of your side. But now we move on to the next live stream, ladies and gentlemen. That will be the matchup between France and Argentina. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one.